Now, this is more of a casual why I personally don't own any of the Mario sports games on the Switch, because if I was going to make it more of an essay, I'd have to actually own said games, and I've only ever bought one of them, which was Mario Tennis Aces, also the first Mario sports games to come to Switch. Initially, I was definitely wary because some of us were Wii U owners, and with how lackluster Ultra Smash was, I had skipped that entry entirely and instead bought the Wii port of Mario Power Tennis. But playing as a chain chomp, having a story mode, and just seeming like the courts and everything were a lot better than Ultra Smash, I did pick it up. The story mode itself seemed fine to me, like it didn't have, say, the cutscene production value of Power Tennis, but there was a mix between regular matches and some fun other things. The main issue is that I bought it to play the extra motion control mode, and the Joy-Con motion controls suck. And it was super rough. Tennis is slightly better in Switch Sports, but again, they're just nowhere near the Wii remotes. They're just not that good, and I'd bought silly extra Wii-era plastic accessories for nothing. Another major issue with like all of these sports games and a lot of stuff Nintendo puts out is that they are not finished on release and instead get free updates with already planned out characters or modes, like we're stupid. I think the most egregious example is with Animal Crossing, how there were no holidays inbuilt into the game, so if you don't have internet access, you straight up don't get the proper experience with that series. In Splatoon 2, it was also a bit annoying because it seems like there could have been a larger amount of content at launch, and they still would have been able to do those updates. And in the Mario Sports games, they've even added additional modes after launch, instead of being content complete from the start, and some of the roster isn't added until later, which I really don't understand. Meanwhile, in Switch Sports, it involves having 3 similar sports and not having golf on launch. When it comes to Mario Golf, I definitely did not pick up the golf entry. While the being able to run around while others are going mode is kind of fun, if I really want that experience, I can just play 100-foot robot golf. I actually have been meaning to get the 3DS Mario Golf, I just haven't wanted to pay $50 for it, plus the DLC. And the reviews for Super Rush were pretty mixed, and again, I think they got people hyped with the story mode, but from what I've heard, it's all kind of meh. And I like Mii's, but being able to have my Mii isn't enough to fork over the cash for it. So with the third Mario Sports games on Switch, I was somewhat interested in Strikers, but there is just so much stuff coming out this month that's better. And while the reviews for this are better than Golf, there are also some very glaring things which again just tell me how much Nintendo, while they're not the developers, they are the publishers, seem to not care about really basic things. So the matches are 4v4, but you can't do that online. Even though you can make clubs in the game, you can't have 8 people playing together online. I hear that locally you can, but that's really not the easiest way to get that number of people together. It really reminded me of how Clubhouse Games had the opposite issue, where if you wanted to play games with your family, there was less than a handful you could play with one Switch, and even when I went through locally connecting multiple Switches with the multiplayer app downloaded, the ad hoc connection of the Switch is so garbage we couldn't even do it. When people were talking about a lack of content, they weren't kidding. They didn't even bother with a story mode this time around, and there's only NPC cups, so basically the equivalent of doing the Grand Prix in Mario Kart. And maybe there'll be some updates, but it shouldn't have to be like this. A note I put in here and didn't actually write was there's no Final Fantasy characters, which hasn't been in like the mainline entries of the sports games, but in some of the spin-offs that I haven't actually bought myself, there were some Final Fantasy characters. One was like specifically designed for it, and even I think in Mario Sports Mix you can fight somehow a behemoth. So yeah, why? What's up with that? Why are there no Final Fantasy characters other than because Square Enix is not involved in any of these ones? But I think that's just an excuse, to be honest. Where's the Mario Sports crossover in Final Fantasy XIV? That's the real question. So really, a simple solution to a lot of this, if you aren't happy with the recent games, is just to play some of the older ones, although again, not Ultra Smash, get yourself Mario Power Tennis at least. But not everyone has some of the older consoles to play them. One good thing is that I have the expansion pack with the Switch Online membership, so I can play the original Mario Tennis that way, and it was really interesting to go back to the first entry and see that a lot of the mechanics were originally there, like the star shots. Mario Golf is also on there, so if I really have a hankering, that's an option too. I guess the next one we are waiting on is baseball, and while MLB The Show is now on Switch, I don't think one of the prominent Japanese baseball video game series has gotten any English versions for the Switch. So to sum it all up, the newest Mario Tennis was okay, the mode I really wanted to play was not it. Mario Golf, it seems like the 3DS entry is better, and with Strikers, I don't have as much to compare to with the original one because there was only one or two entries. But the thoughtlessness in regards to creating this experience, which is entirely about, either playing by yourself or with other people, it just makes me think that they don't really care about it in the first place. But yeah, let me know if you have any of the Mario Switch games and you're happy with them, or you're disappointed, or it's just not something you care about at all. Or better yet, what kind of arcadey sports games do you want to come to the Switch?
We like sports and we don't care who knows, from shooting hoops to the Super Bowl.